Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for my top 10 best list of 2015. And there are a couple things to know before going into this video. For one, I did not see every movie that came out this year, most notably Ex Machina and Spotlight. I was really trying to find a theater or wherever place where I could see those two films, but I just didn't have enough time. And I just could not watch those two movies, so those movies will not be on this list. Second, grades do not matter on this list. There could be a film that had an A- that's above a film that had an A+. And the reason that is because each film I grade differently, depending on how the film was. And lastly, these are my personal picks in my own subjective opinion. To me, these are the best movies of 2015. But if you don't agree with me, that's completely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Film is subjective. Everyone has different tastes in film. So, if you don't agree with me, leave a comment below what is your top 10 best list of 2015 or make a video, because guess what? Everyone's doing this. So, enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get on to my top 10 best movies of 2015. And let's start off the list with number 10. Number 10. Coming in at number 10 is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Now, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation was the easy pick for me for number 10 because number 10, I was like, what should I put there? Because the other 9 films, those were very hard to choose. But number 10 was easy to choose for Mission Impossible. And the reason why I chose Mission Impossible is because it just upped the ante for Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. The action was amazing. The stunt work was just off the chains. And of course, Tom Cruise kicks ass in this movie. The guy is 53 years old and he is still kicking ass. The biggest and baddest ass action star of this generation possibly. The film may have gone on 10 minutes too long, but overall, as an action film, Mission Impossible just upped the ante, and overall, it was just a fun blockbuster film, and it was one of the best of the summer. Number 9. Coming in at number 9 is Mad Max Fury Road. And come on, guys, for those of you seen Mad Max Fury Road, you just have to admit, the action scenes were outstanding. What George Miller was able to do to mix practical effects and CGI effects and blend them all together to mesh very well was just outstanding. When you watch some of the scenes in the film, you're like, what? How did they do that? There were just amazing sequences in the film. And Tom Hardy as Mad Max really killed it, even though, once again, he has the Tom Hardy mumble where he's like, give me water, give me water. He kind of mumbles. He was great in the film. He was intimidating. He was a great Mad Max. But then you have Charlize Theron, who stepped up. There were times I was like, man, she's stealing the show from Tom Hardy. She's probably the best part of this entire film. Charlize Theron was great. She was kick-ass in the movie, and there were times I was like, dang, I feel bad for you, Tom Hardy. You're going to go up against Charlize Theron, man, because she is one badass chick. Number 8. Coming straight out of number 8 is Straight Outta Compton. Now, Straight Outta Compton was just an entertaining biographical film. F. Gary Gray did a great job in transitioning the story of the NWA onto the big screen, and all these actors that were in the film gave a great job. Ice Cube's son really surprised me because Ice Cube just casted his son because it's his son, like how Will Smith did to Jaden Smith. But Ice Cube's son really did a great job in portraying him. But by far the person who stole the show was Jason Mitchell, who played Eazy-E. Like, when you really look back on the film, his performance really stands out. And the Detroit concert scene in Straight Outta Compton, that's one of the best scenes in the entire year. Number 7. Coming in at number 7 is Kingsman: The Secret Service. And to be honest, when I saw Kingsman: The Secret Service during that time period earlier this year, that was the first great movie that I saw of this year. Matthew Vaughn once again delivers an entertaining, fun film. And what's great about Matthew Vaughn is that he has his own style that is just so likable. Colin Firth as an action badass hero, that's surprising. He did a great job in this film. Taron Egerton is a kid that you got to watch out for because he's going to have a bright future up ahead of us. And then Samuel L. Jackson with his Mike Tyson lisp. At first kind of threw me off, but it was actually not that bad as the film goes on. It was actually pretty funny. Number 6. Coming in at number 6 is Sicario. And Sicario is another great addition from this talented filmmaker, Denis Villeneuve. He is just an outstanding director. When you watch Prisoners, and then you watch Enemy, and then you watch Sicario, this guy's just on a roll. One of the best aspects of Sicario was the amazing cinematography by Roger Deakins. And what I love is that this film is a slow burn. The film starts off slow, and as the film goes on, it starts to build, and then once it gets to the grand finale, the third act, it's just an intense ride. You're just on the edge of your seat, holding on, just gripping onto your seat because it's so intense. Emily Blunt once again delivers a great performance, but I feel the one person who stole the show was Benicio del Toro. He was just outstanding in the film and possibly could earn a Best Supporting Actor nomination at the Oscars because he was just that damn good.
Number 5.
Alright, we're getting down to the top 5 movies of the year, and coming in at number 5 is Creed. Now, Creed was the film that I was really looking forward to because I'm a fan of the Rocky franchise, excluding Rocky 5. Sylvester Stallone honestly gives an amazing performance, and I won't be surprised if he's nominated at the Oscars for Best Supporting Actor because he was just really amazing in the film. He really surprised me. And Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed. Come on, it's Michael B. Jordan, man. After what happened in Fantastic Four earlier this year, it's good to see he redeemed himself because some people were like, oh man, look at that guy. But yeah, but guess what? He's in Creed and he kicks ass.
Number 4.
Coming at number 4 is The Martian. And surprisingly enough, despite the next 3 films that are on this list, The Martian is the only film this year that I gave an A+ to. And I still stand by that grade because The Martian was just outstanding. I was really surprised that Ridley Scott directed a film this great. And the performance that Matt Damon gave in this film, great. But not just Matt Damon, all the other actors, especially Jeff Daniels in The Martian, all gave great performance. And similar to Sylvester Stallone, I'm not going to be surprised if Jeff Daniels gets a nomination for Best Supporting Actor for The Martian because he was just outstanding in the film. It almost feels like the film crew went to Mars and filmed it on Mars because the visual effects were really amazing.
Number 3.
Alright, we're getting down to the top 3, and I have to say, this was the hardest decision I ever had to make for these top 10 videos ever since these past 2 years. This was the hardest because these 3 movies, I love them so much, but for very different reasons. It was just so hard to put them in which order. I'll be like, okay, this goes to number 2, number 1. Wait, no, this one goes to number 3 and this one goes to number 1. Finally, after an hour and a half or 2 hours maybe, I finally have decided what the order of these 3 top movies are. And coming in at number 3 is The Revenant. And the reason why this top 10 best list video is kind of late, unlike these previous years, was because I had to make time to watch The Revenant. And I'm so glad that I made time because The Revenant is just an outstanding movie from Alejandro González-Iñárritu. Revenant cinematography from Emmanuel Lubezki is just beautiful. There's so many words I could describe the cinematography for this film, and all of them doesn't do it justice. Once you see the film, you see how great the cinematography is. You're like, whoa. And Leonardo DiCaprio in this film, you can see he's really trying to go for that Oscar. In the film, he hardly has any dialogue, so he has to act with his face and his body. And sometimes those scenes of him suffering and pain, those scenes of him trying to survive are very brutal. And the facial expressions that Leonardo DiCaprio gives, it actually looks like he's in pain. And that's big credit I gotta give to Leonardo DiCaprio. But also too, the other big dog, Tom Hardy, who's also amazing in the film. The scenes of him against Leonardo DiCaprio were just some very intense scenes. I was just glued to the screen. I was like, oh my gosh, seeing Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio. I didn't see Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio. I saw the characters that they were playing. And while Tom Hardy, once again, just like with Mad Max, 2 of Tom Hardy's movies are on my top 10 best list. Nice job, Tom Hardy. He has the Tom Hardy mumble. He was like, oh, I understand. He got
Number 2.
And like how I said, the top 3 movies were so hard. Number 2, number 1. I'm telling you, I kept switching back and forth. It was so hard for me to choose. But finally, like how I said, finally come to the conclusion. Coming at number 2 is Star Wars The Force Awakens. J.J. Abrams did a great job in recapturing some of the nostalgic moments that we had in the original trilogy, but also to incorporating fresh new blood and fresh new takes on the Star Wars franchise. Harrison Ford as Han Solo was great. So was Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. While the original cast was great, the newcomers were outstanding. Daisy Ridley, Oscar Isaac, and John Boyega were fantastic. And like how I said, I already knew Oscar Isaac was a fantastic actor. But since I never seen John Boyega and Daisy Ridley in the film before, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley, the rest of the cast, you can tell they have a bright future ahead of them. They're going to be in a lot of films from here on out.
Number 1.
And coming in at number 1, like how I said for The Revenant, the reason why this video is later than the last 2 videos that I did for the top 10 best list was because I had to make room for The Revenant. But I didn't have to make room just for The Revenant. I also had to make room for this film, which is my number 1, which is The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight is another fantastic addition to the film list of Quentin Tarantino. And what can you expect from a Quentin Tarantino film? This film is just amazing. The first half is just characters talking to each other, and you are glued to the screen. You're so entertained by the dialogue because Quentin Tarantino has an amazing writing style where the dialogue between characters is so entertaining. And the acting from all the actors from this film, especially Samuel L. Jackson, who honestly, this is the best performance I've seen from Samuel L. Jackson in a long time. And it actually may be Oscar worthy, Samuel L. Jackson's performance, because he was just that awesome in the film. And what's cool is that all the characters were really interesting. So when the characters all meet up, you're like, I want to know more about this character. And one of the best aspects of this film is that the fact that it takes place in this cabin, one location, and the film builds so much tension from characters talking to each other. This is one scene where these two characters are talking to each other and tension is building and you're just like, oh man, you're getting to the edge of your seat because the tension is rising just from the two characters talking to each other. And the performances from the actors, that is big credit that I give to Tarantino, man. And because of all those reasons, that is why The Hateful Eight is #1 on my top 10 best list of 2015. So guys, that's my top 10 best list of 2015. What did you guys think of my list? Did you guys agree with it or did you guys disagree with it? And if you disagree with it, please let me know in the comments below. What is your top 10 best list? Again, film is subjective. Everyone has different tastes. Please let me know in the comments below. And once again, guys, thank you so much for supporting me over these past 3 years that I've been on YouTube. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. It really means a lot. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking time out of your day to watch my video. Thank you so much. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice day.